From the Human Factor release, that is Metal Church with the title track right there. And, boy, I tell you, Metal Church should have been a bigger band.
Yeah, they really suffered from not having the right promotion or the right label or the right something, because they were good.
Yeah. But I'm glad they're back and doing what they're doing with Mike Howe again. And, again, I've seen them 2 or 3 times since Mike has come back to the band. And, they just put on really strong performances.
Sure. No, I'm loving what Metal Church is doing. I liked what they were doing with our good friend Ronnie Monroe.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously my favorite Ronnie era release was Light in the Dark. That one. That was just solid from beginning to end. Some of the other stuff kind of sketchy. Performance-wise, They were really great.
All right, Light in the Dark, everything else. Is it the best Metal Church album for you?
Is Light in the Dark the best Metal Church album?
For you, yeah.
No. It's right in the top, but it's not the very best one.
What's the best one?
Boy, I tell you, it's either got to be The Dark.
Okay.
Or maybe the self-titled one is really good. Blessing Disguise is really great. It's tough. I would have to say The Dark is number 1. I'm going to say Blessing in Disguise, then Light in the Dark.
Right. I'm taking Debut number 1. I'm taking Human Factor number 2, because I play that thing still to death. And then, probably The Dark and then Light in the Dark.
Yeah.
Like something like that. But they're all good.
They're all good.
Honestly, Generation Nothing might be... What's the worst, Generation Nothing or Weight of the World?
Weight of the World.
And even that's not a terrible record.
Yeah, it just lacks punch. I think that if they re-recorded that with some better production or something, I just don't know what it was about that record. It just was just like blah.
It's thin.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It just didn't have that oof that Metal Church is known for. But then the follow up, obviously with Light in the Dark, they were like a whole different band, even though it was the exact same lineup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I definitely agree.
This Present Wasteland went right back to Weight of the World.
Yeah.
It just fizzled. I good musicianship and stuff, but it just didn't have that. I don't know if it was performance. I don't know if it was production. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't grab you by the nuts.
Right. Quote from Neely, "I need to be grabbed by the nuts. Metal Church does that."
Yeah.
Neely, the classic metal show. That'll be on their next album sticker.
Yeah. But, I've been a fan of that band since the very early days. And I know our friend Kendall, she's like a major Metal Church fan.
Oh, yeah. She lives to worship at the Church of Metal.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's get into this thing that you sent me over, this Survivor thing.
All right. Let me grab my email here. So, last week, I mentioned this, as I'm sure you probably remember. There was a show on ABC for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it was a network show, and then it got canceled.
Right. It was called Designated Survivor. Features Kiefer Sutherland and the other one that's famous in the show is Cal Penn from Harold and Kumar and whatnot. Mm-hmm. He was Kumar,
right?
Or Harold, or whichever one, the fatter one. He's that guy. I don't remember if that's Harold or Kumar, but
well, Kumar was the Indian and Harold was the Asian.
He's the Indian.
Okay, so Kumar went on to do some stuff in the government during the Obama administration.
That's who this is.
Yeah, well, he left acting for a while so he could work in the Obama administration. I don't remember what his role was.
Yeah,
but he's the Indian.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now he's back in the government of TV.
Okay.
So the premise to the show was that at the State of the Union, somebody blew up the White House.
Okay.
And Kiefer Sutherland was the whatever, Secretary of Agriculture or whatever, that was sitting back in the hotel somewhere while the State of the Union was going on. So he automatically becomes the president.
Yeah, so he's like fourth in line or something like that.
Yeah, or whatever it is. But he's the guy that's left, so he becomes the president. And the show, the first 2 seasons, for a network show, was fucking great. It was really a great show. And it was all about, you know, trying to build a new government from scratch and keeping order, and, you know, people thinking that since there was no government, they could just do whatever they wanted. They could Mad Max it, and, you know, him trying to keep order. There was a big espionage angle, obviously, because they're trying to figure out who blew up the White House, and, you know, who were we under attack from, and how do we catch them and whatnot. So it was this cool kind of, as network shows go, it was very cool. And it was a damn good show. And I got to admit, when it was canceled, I was like, man, you got to be fucking kidding me. This is a really fucking strong show. So it was canceled. And then, I don't know, a couple months later, it got picked up by Netflix.
Okay.
So my first thought was, fuck yeah. It got picked up by Netflix. They'll be able to add in language. They'll be able to, you know, I thought what they would do maybe was kind of replace House of Cards. That was what my thought was going in, was that, you know, they were ending House of Cards. They would take this a little bit deeper and a little bit dirtier and make this, you know, a really, really good show. Well, that's not what we got. We instead got 10 episodes, of which I'm going to feature pieces of 3 tonight. And I might go back and do more because I want to expose this fucking horrible show. But what we got was a 10-episode infomercial for basically every social justice issue that's out there today. Each episode is nothing but social justice faggotry.
Political correctness and social justice warrior shit.
I can't believe that they wrecked this show this fast. You know, it's like they just brought in new writers that were, you know, organizers of the Me Too movement. You know, because it's unfucking believable how they went from this cool show that was like spies and espionage and war and, you know, government and the dirty secrets of government and all that shit to now it's gay sex and trannies, and it's horrible. I could not have been more disappointed. And I was so excited last week when it came out. I saw that was coming out. I made a plan to not go anywhere last Friday so I could watch it. And I started watching it. It was like, what the fuck? They just wrecked one of my favorite shows. And I'm not happy about it.
Disappointed!
Oh, you got that right. I'm very disappointed.
Well, you got to remember, Netflix did sign the Obamas for a show.
You know what? And the way this is going with One Day at a Time and now this show, and there's other shows that are out there, I'm thinking my days are numbered with Netflix.
Right.
You know, I'm not one to cut off my nose to spite my face. Like, I'm not canceling it because they signed the fucking dopey Obamas or whatever. You know, because to me, I just won't watch it. But if they're going to start wrecking shows, then I have no need for it. I'll watch YouTube. I'll watch Amazon Prime. Dude, 90% of my watching anymore is YouTube anyway. I'm not watching very much Netflix at all.
Yeah,
so.
I got to be honest with you. I haven't watched Netflix in probably about 6 to 7 weeks because my watching has been, since baseball season, I have MLB.
Right, watch the games.
So I've been watching some games. If I want to watch a movie, I've been watching it on Amazon.
Right.
And most of my watching has been on Netflix or on YouTube, just creator stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's really just kind of, Netflix is playing itself right out of a lot of people's homes. I'm not saying out of business, but people are tired of this bullshit. And I, for one, am very tired of it. And just like we did with one day at a time, I'm definitely going to expose it when I run into it.
Which thank goodness they got canceled.
Yeah, that got canceled too. Although their fans are petitioning that it gets picked up somewhere.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, good. Keep trying. So what I did was I went through, and I could have pulled way more clips than I did. I brought you 8 clips that I thought we could have fun with. These are from the first 3, only the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
Of the show. And they have different topics. So the first topic, the first segment is we get to meet. Well, I'll set it up. That guy Cal Penn, the Indian guy, is the press secretary for President Kirkman, who's Kiefer Sutherland. And he's getting his staff together or whatever.
Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. They've got an Indian guy being the press secretary for a white guy?
Of course.
Well, that's racist in itself, because why does the white guy get the position of power and the Indian guy has to be the subservient one to him?
Only because the show came out before it was an issue, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think
it should be the other way around. The Indian guy should be the one in charge, and the white guy should be the subservient one.
The white guy should be working in the kitchen, for God's sakes.
Yeah, put him in his place.
Yeah, pal. So, in the clip you're going to play here, the press secretary is meeting with this young kid, to say, I'm bringing you into my office to work for me. To work for me in the press, with the press room.
Not sodomize him?
Well, see, not him directly, but of course they turn this scene, which is shot in a bar, to in comes the black gay boyfriend, and they can kiss and be all over each other.
Right.
Because that was necessary to make this scene go.
Right.
So you can go ahead and play this one.
All right. Well, here we go.
Man, I started the day thinking I was going to get fired, and I ended the day getting promoted.
I started the day as a low-ranking specialist in the Office of Digital Strategy. I ended the day as Director of Online Engagement.
Nice try, Dante.
It's worth a shot.
Hey, tomorrow, though, I want you to pack up your desk in the EEOB and head over to the West Wing. You work for me now. Oh, shit.
What's wrong?
My parents. They're dead.
Seth, I'm so sorry, man.
No, it's okay. I never knew them. Hi, I'm Seth.
Mike, I'm Dante's boyfriend.
Yeah, I figured. Have a seat. Let me buy you 2 intimidatingly fit gentlemen a drink.
Dude, in all of your years of hanging out at a bar with a buddy,
yeah,
has that conversation ever gone that way?
No.
I mean, it's just the weirdest, most uncomfortable sounding conversation ever.
Let me buy you 2 intimidatingly fit gentlemen a drink.
Yeah.
Well, you don't say that when somebody comes in to talk to you?
No.
Oh, man. So that's the start of this. That's the first episode. So let's fast forward. We're gonna have a full plot now. We're gonna do several segments here of the episode number 2. In episode number 2, the president he's trying to get an infrastructure bill signed to fix roads or something, because somewhere in, I think, North Carolina or somewhere, a bridge fell and killed a bunch of people. Okay. So he can't fund this bridge project. So what does he do? he reaches out to the Saudis to help him.
So he's looking to the Saudis to fund an American infrastructure program?
Of course, that's how it happens, isn't it?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if a bridge fell in North Carolina, they were probably a bunch of Trump supporters anyway, so they deserve to die.
Right. So you would think with that premise, you'd get like a whole bunch of conversation about, Saudi wealth, or, is there some back channel thing with the Saudis? Is this really a secret plot, or, right? Something. No. Instead, we get, as you'll hear in this clip, he meets with the Saudi guy in his office with a girl that he thinks is his daughter, but really is his 14-year-old wife. And he's so outraged that he has to call his team together to figure out what they can do to fix this problem.
Oh, okay.
Of this Saudi guy.
So he needs to get actively involved.
Right. And this leads somewhere. So play this clip and then we'll continue walking through this. It turns into just a social justice statement of just that America sucks a bag of dicks.
Right. So if Kumar was having drinks with this guy at Parasons and his boyfriend came in, do you think Kumar would have thrown up his beer at spaghetti when they started making out?
He might have.
Okay.
He seemed pretty okay with it in that scene.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Al-Mufti, thank you again, and please send my regards to your business partners in Riyadh. Hi, what's your name?
Jamila.
I have a daughter who's almost your age. How old are you?
14.
Are you having a fun time here with your dad?
Jamila is not my daughter. She is my wife.
It's statutory rape.
No.
All right. So basically this guy who's a Saudi national, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he is.
So this guy wants to apply U.S. laws on this guy?
Yeah, that's the president, by the way. That's President Kirkman.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I wish you could see the video of it, because when he's talking to the young girl, she's got her head down, she's frowning, she's very upset. She's just a beaten down little girl.
Right. All right.
When you're in Saudi Arabia, at least not when you're married.
The U.S. needs to be culturally sensitive, Mr. President.
The hell we
see, there we go. Culturally sensitive.
Of course.
Well, again, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Mm-hmm. I have not seen the show, so I can't really comment on this.
Okay.
Even though here in the U.S. Customs would not allow for this. Mm-hmm. And if this Saudi guy is not a U.S. citizen, mm-hmm. At what point do I'm talking we as the U.S., think we can intervene with this kind of stuff?
Well, see, that's where you'd be mistaken, sir, because we, according to this show and according to this plot line, we have to take the stand to know right from wrong and enforce it on everybody.
Okay. Well, that's just...
And that's going to go somewhere, so don't forget that.
All right. I'm just asking the questions because I'm trying to keep up with this.
All right.
This is a human rights violation. Now, what can I do?
Fire the idiot that vetted them?
He saw their ages and same last name, assumed it was father-daughter.
So did I. Don't fire him.
There were no press present, right?
No, but I wish there had been.
Not when you're about to roll out your signature project, you don't.
What about all these reforms the Crown Prince is crowing about? He lets women drive but won't touch this?
The girl's 14 years old. How old was she when she got married?
13.
Jesus. She's just a little older than Penny. I've got to do something.
What you need to do is...
I got to do something.
I got to do something.
I got to intervene in other countries' affairs because I'm on the side of righteousness here.
That's right. That's right. Their customs, their laws be damned. I got to fix it.
Yeah, of course.
Crap load of interviews. Don't bring it up.
President welcomes pedophile to the Oval Office. Or road construction. Which story do you think they're going to run with?
You need to do something, but we also need to protect infrastructure. Let me staff it out, see what our options are.
We need to fix this.
Before you start burning bridges, metaphorical or Saudi financed, I suggest that you discuss strategic imperatives with your national security advisor.
What's more important, the sanctity of children or a new bridge?
Yeah, pal!
What a conundrum.
So you see, when you were watching this episode, you'd really get sucked into throwing your opinion out there, right?
Of course. Because I got to tell you, just listening to that clip without actually seeing the video, I am shocked, outraged, and offended.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yes, I am. Can you hear it in my voice how shocked and outraged I am?
Well, it's going to get worse.
Okay.
In the next segment, President Kirkman takes a strong stand against the Saudi marriage and the oppression of the women.
Did he write a strongly worded letter?
Oh, he's going to have a very strong discussion here.
Did he shake his finger at them?
Sure did. Made a fist.
Did he pound the table and shake his finger?
Order in my country.
Did he call Judge Aiken in to rule on this?
I'm waiting for that call.
All right.
Al Jazeera is reporting you met with a key investor in your P3 fund earlier today. Shahid Al-Mufti. Is that true, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
They posted a smiling picture of you posing with Al-Mufti and his 14-year-old wife. You condone this relationship, Mr. President?
No, of course I don't. I have recently learned that in developing countries, 1 in 3 girls are married before they reach the age of 18, some as young as 10. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I can't imagine her being put in that position. I think childhood marriage is barbaric, but I am told that the Crown Prince is trying to reform. I can only urge him to try harder.
Okay.
But now comes the swerve.
All right.
You're going to love the final segment here. In the final segment of this dramatic, socially energized episode, President Kirkman meets with a Saudi delegate that's a woman, and they battle back and forth about why Saudi Arabia shouldn't be attacked by America, because America is far worse than the Saudi Arabian government.
Okay, so we got to bash America now.
Of course, and that leads to the press attacking the president for his stance on underage marriage.
Oh,
it's a real jewel.
I see.
So it's the big curve coming at you.
All right, here we go.
Princess Sorani, welcome.
Thank you for receiving me, Mr. President.
Please.
I'm here in my capacity as counselor of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Please, call me Rania.
I have to be honest, I was very surprised when I was told that Ambassador Alawi was sending you in his place.
Surprised at Saudi...
So who is this guy who's the president?
Kiefer Sutherland.
That's Kiefer talking right there?
Yeah.
Why does he sound like he's all beaten down and broken down, and he's like this defeated man? He doesn't sound very presidential at all.
Do you not understand the pressure that he's under with this social justice that's going on here?
He sounds like he walks into the room with his head hanging low and his shoulders slumped, and he's just this depressed. That's Kiefer, huh?
These are very complex issues that demand his energy, and it saps the energy out of him to go in there and fight for what he believes is right and true.
All right.
Arabia allows women to work at all.
I assure you I'm not that ill-informed.
Yeah, I was sent to find out just how informed you are.
So make it clear that Al-Mufti is not the private equity fund. He's just a part of it, and the private equity fund itself is just part of the infrastructure fund.
Which makes him a part of it. Yeah, that's not going to matter.
Just do whatever you can to move them past Saudi Arabia, please.
In Saudi Arabia, women are also allowed to attend school.
Yes, with the permission of a man.
The Crown Prince is actively scaling back the guardianship system. When I enrolled in George Washington University, I required no man's permission.
With all due respect, you're the cousin of the Crown Prince.
Do you know how many members of the royal family there are?
Off the top of my head, no.
15,000.
There are many issues on which both our countries diverge, and we both understand the ties that bind us together. What can we do to fix this?
Do you have any idea how much harder you've made it for my cousin to get reforms past the hardliners? Anything he does now would look like he's doing America's bidding. I'm not sure if it is fixable.
What I find bizarre is that this show goes as far as to show that the U.S. is dependent on Saudi Arabia for something.
Of course. Well, dude, and that statement that she just makes right there, that is just absolutely a shitting on the president. Do you know how hard you made it for us to run our country?
Yeah, you're an oppressive overlord. What the fuck is wrong with you, pal?
How dare you make an assessment about us?
It's what a weird. I would never watch a show.
Dude, I'm done after this season, or I didn't even finish this season, but I will if we want to do more content from it. But
all right, here we go.
To jump on damage control.
On my way to Pebble Beach. I assume I'm not talking about infrastructure anymore, right?
Change of plans. I need you to restore peace in the Middle East.
Isn't that been the issue for the last 100 years, restoring peace in the Middle East?
Well, now it's important.
I think every president that I remember in my lifetime, that's always been the cornerstone of their administration, was restoring peace in the Middle East.
Well, and the one way you can restore peace in the Middle East is obviously to take a stance against girls being married.
Okay.
Age of consent for women.
Right, because that's a concern.
That's a key element to the wars in the Middle East.
Yeah, sure.
For what I said publicly, I should have shared my concerns with the Crown Prince himself.
Because it is up to the morally superior America to teach the rest of the world how to act.
No, because I believe that every young girl has a right to a childhood.
Al-Mufti does not work for the Sovereign Wealth Fund. The kingdom would never have sent a man with an underaged wife.
Because the optics would have been bad, not because it doesn't exist.
Where's my pen?
Seth, I'm gonna watch the briefing.
For your information, child marriage is now uncommon in our cities. It exists, but in places where change takes longer to reach. Rural areas under tribal chiefs, adherents of extreme clerics.
Just because those girls are out of sight doesn't mean they don't matter.
Please, tell me, what else do you assume is wrong with Saudi Arabia?
See, here's the thing. I'm listening to this, and this is such a ridiculous premise, and this is the reason why.
I knew this was going to drive you nuts.
It is. We're in the 21st century. We're in the information age.
Yeah.
The way that they're approaching this is like a surprise all of a sudden. Like, we didn't know this was going on all this time. You know,
Yeah.
we're in 2019 as if we didn't know that these third world countries do barbaric things. And all of a sudden it's this big surprise. It's just like, what? They marry underage girls over there? When was this going on?
How dare they?
But my point is, it's like, when was this going on? Yeah, like since year 11?
Never heard of it before.
That's my point.
When did this new thing start? When did they start doing this? Last week?
Yeah, that's my point. It's just, this is stupid. We've known this for centuries.
Well, it's about to get even better because the tide is going to turn to prove that America is just a bag of shit.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go.
I try not to assume, so I'll tell you what I know. 15 of the 19 hijackers from 9/11 were Saudi nationals. Your religious beliefs would prefer to watch girls burn to death in their school than leave it without their burqas on. You persecute religious minorities, female activists, you have no free press, a long history of torture, and you murder journalists that speak out against you.
You know little about us, but we know so much more about you.
Such as?
We know your country was founded as a slave state. Your incarceration rate is the highest in the world. You're less than 5% of the world's population, yet you house 22% of the world's criminals. And you give prison sentences for smoking marijuana, but not for billion-dollar fraud.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Point taken.
I'm just getting started.
Saudi Arabia is the linchpin of the Middle East. It's the key to its stability. They help fight Al-Qaeda and ISIS in the region. They've stopped numerous terrorist plots against America. Now, the truth is that we're safer because of our relationship with Saudi Arabia.
Your murder rate is astronomical. Of all the civilian-owned handguns in the world, Americans own nearly half. You call yourself the greatest country in the world, yet you allow 500,000 of your people to go homeless. Millions to go without health care.
As an American, these are things I am not proud of.
The president will always stand.
President Pussy reporting for duty.
So she's saying that all the Saudis have good health care? Is that what she's...
Of course.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Good health care. They don't get shot.
Yeah.
They don't have problems.
Yeah.
They weren't formed as a slave state.
Please.
You like the
Humanistic
show? You
values.
gonna watch it now?
Do I like the show?
Yeah, you gonna watch it now?
No. Again, it's just the old liberal line.
Of course.
Where does President Kirkman stand on child marriage?
Again, Claire, the president was unaware of Shahid al-Mufti's marital status.
Before you rain righteous indignation down on us for allowing child marriage, look in your own backyard.
Excuse me?
Let me clarify. Where does he stand on child marriage in the U.S.?
I don't follow.
You are aware that America also allows children to marry.
That's not true. Go ahead and check the statutes in all 50 states. The minimum age at which people can get married by law in this country is 18. 18 being the age at which you're no longer considered a minor, ergo, no child marriage.
What about loopholes?
What loopholes?
48 states have loopholes allowing minors to marry. 16 and 17-year-olds with parental permission. Children 15 and younger require a judge's approval, which is routinely granted.
I'll have to get back to you.
What are you talking about? Routinely granted.
Routinely granted.
Do you think if 15-year-old girls were getting married, that would not make the news?
All the time.
Yeah.
I think it happens every day.
Yeah,
Must.
routinely granted.
Routinely granted.
Now, my grandparents, my grandpa was 18 and my grandma was 16.
Right.
When they got married. Mm-hmm. And, of course, in today's, culture, 16 is much too young.
Sure.
But, again, is 16 a child? I guess you could say they are. I don't know.
Right.
But the thing is that the ridiculousness of this is that with all of our U.S. intelligence, CIA, worldwide intelligence, are you telling me that before the Saudi guy came to the U.S. to make some kind of financial deal, that he wasn't vetted and knew that he had a 14-year-old wife?
Apparently not in President Kirkman's White House.
See, that's the dumbest thing, because I'm sure that our intelligence already knows all that.
Well, didn't you hear him say before they saw the names? They were the same names. They just assumed it was
No. Before any kind of national comes into this country, really? I'm pretty sure that our CIA and our intelligence agencies know who these people are and what their backgrounds are.
You're way giving too much credit. It's not like that at all.
Okay.
And wait, before you play anything else, I want to answer one question in the chat room from Bobby Kenneth. Who watches this faggoty shit? I mean, other than Chris. I'm going to answer this. I started this episode with this. This show was not like this last year or the year before. This is season 3. Seasons 1 and 2 are terrific and do not have this. It's this season that is just up the social justice's ass. And I only know of this because I was excited to see season 3. I started watching it and was just like you guys, was like, what the fuck is this? I'm horrified and flabbergasted and outraged as well.
Right. All right.
So the president is against child marriage in other countries, but fine with it here?
What is that all about? You never hear of that here, ever. He's against it in other countries, but he's fine with it here.
Well, that's what he said, obviously.
Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever. How dumb.
I can't speak with authority to issues outside the purview of the National Security Council, but what I can unequivocally vouch for is President Kirkman's character. Hypocrisy is not in his DNA. If there's an injustice involved, he'll do everything within his power to right it.
I have a question regarding the president's trip to North Carolina tomorrow.
Yes, Phil, what would you like to know?
Is the president aware that North Carolina allows children as young as 14 to obtain a marriage license in the case of childbirth or pregnancy?
Phil, I understand.
Get everyone in here now.
Happy to get back to you on
Thank you.
Get everybody in here now.
Yeah, all right. All right, what's next?
I'm completely beaten down. Get everybody in here now. Okay, so those two were bad. Those were just the warm-ups.
All right.
And I'm not even kidding you. This one is unbelievable. So in this next set of things, the president is found out to have a secret transgender sister-in-law.
A sister-in-law?
Yeah.
So he's not even related to this woman or man by blood?
No, it's his dead wife's brother turned sister.
All right. So it's still his brother-in-law.
Now he never can. There's not a mention of a brother-in-law anywhere here. They just can consult as a sister-in-law that he's been hiding. And obviously in a show like this, we need to know about transgender. So we have to have a full episode dedicated to
Sure,
it.
because they're less than 1% of our population.
But we need to cover it. We need to cover their importance to society.
Right.
So in the first segment I sent you, it's the president calls his, whatever the guy would be, I guess chief of staff or whatever, into the office to play for him audio and a video on an iPad of the president's transgender sister-in-law being exposed to the public.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
President Kirkman has never mentioned his transgender sister-in-law. What exactly is he hiding? Paid for by Citizens for Family.
What is he hiding?
What is he hiding?
Yeah, because he's responsible for somebody who's not even, related to him by blood.
Right, of course.
Okay.
Moss, Super PAC, run by a guy who used to work for him.
What do you want to do, sir?
Respect Sasha's privacy and ignore it.
That's not going to be possible.
This has already gone viral. That means all the major networks are going to cover it. It's a free media firestorm.
Not only going to get whacked by the social conservatives, but the LGBTQ activists are going to hit you for willful neglect.
So, on one hand, I will be accused of having a secret agenda, and on the other, ducking the subject completely, all because I don't want to drag my sister-in-law through this political maelstrom.
I'd avoid the word drag.
Okay, we're done talking about this.
Wow. Again, it's just like I'm responsible for somebody that isn't even related to me.
Right.
Okay.
So, obviously, the president has to do something.
Oh, of course.
So, he places a call to Sasha, the sister-in-law.
His brother-in-law pretending to be a girl.
Of course, but yeah. I'm gonna respect this gender and say the sister-in-law. That's how he identifies.
Is his name Vinnie Vincent?
It's Sasha Vincent, I think.
All right.
But so the president calls Sasha to invite her to come to the White House to stop the negativity by doing a press showing with the president.
I see. Because he's got to show his inclusion and diversity, because that is our strength after all.
Of course. Well, and dude, I mean, this might just take the president encouraging underage fucking and sex to go away by bringing in the transgender.
Right. Let's create a smoke screen over here so you can forget what you saw over there.
That's right.
Okay.
Oui, hello?
Sasha, it's me, Tom.
Hello, Mr. President.
I am so sorry for everything that you're dealing with.
So this is the transgender talking with the
yes.
Fake effeminate voice.
With the smoky voice.
All right. The only thing I got to say about 14 to 16-year-old brides, at least they have real vaginas. That's all I got to say.
Along with the almost surreal invasiveness, it has been a bit disorienting.
It's appalling. It didn't occur to me that running for a second term would bring this on.
And so it has.
Right. Well, now I find myself in the awkward position of having to ask you if you'd be willing to come to Washington, D.C.
To help you politically.
No, to help us both. I'm told that the only way to stop this intrusion into your private life is for us to stand together, a public appearance.
I need to relinquish my privacy in order to restore it.
I'm afraid so. Obviously, the choice is yours.
Oh, this is so dramatic.
He's so beaten down.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, Sasha, the choice is yours.
You know, I used to respect Kiefer Sutherland, but I haven't seen him in this role. I mean, all I hear is the audio, but not liking the guy so much anymore.
Again, he was good in the first 2 years when he was, throwing shit and being mad and.
Yeah, well, when he was Jack Bauer, and when he was one of the vampires on the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And when he was banging Michelle Kath's mom.
Yeah. Well, he was much more like Jack Bauer in seasons 1 and 2. Now he's, much more like, I don't know who this is.
This is Obama's hidden white brother.
Is that the end of that
I'll catch the
segment?
first flight out in the morning.
Okay.
Thank
you, Sasha.
Oh, thank you.
I'll see you soon.
Thank you for saving my career. I'm a beaten down man.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
When you get here, the only thing I can offer you in condolences, some gay sex.
Right.
So what do you think?
I think so. I think it's a good idea.
Right.
All right, now this next segment, you are going to lose your fucking mind.
Okay.
And I'm telling everybody right now in the chat room, strap in for this.
Strap on for this.
I'm not going to tell you what's coming, other than to say the president meets with Sasha and to talk about how they're going to cut off the media negativity.
It's interesting, all the words are you said strap on, and then you said come, and then you said
But what ends up happening is Sasha offers some help with a problem that the president is having with his preteen daughter.
Does Sasha offer to give the president a handy to relieve some of the stress?
No, but you're going to be stunned by the offer. And then following the offer, they have a heart-to-heart about what the president really feels about her transition.
Oh.
But the offer is unfucking believable. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
All right.
You're going to fucking lose your shit.
All right. All right, put up your gay shields here, kids.
Oh, and put them really high.
Yeah. Don't get any in your eyes.
That's right.
Oolong.
You remembered.
Of course.
So, tell me, how is Penny?
Evidently, she had her first period yesterday.
Evidently?
The school didn't have her mother to call anymore, so...
So they called her father, the president.
Worse, they left a message.
Oh, how awful. Have you spoken to her?
Not yet. She stayed at a friend's house last night.
So this is two men talking about a teenage girl's period?
It is a transgender woman and a man.
No, this is two dudes talking. Sorry.
Tomato, potato, whatever.
Yeah, okay. As if a transgender would understand feminine menstrual issues.
That part is coming.
Oh, okay. Now, because I'm pretending to be a woman, I understand menstrual issues.
Just wait and see.
All right.
I'd be happy to speak with her if you like.
Why? What are you going to offer that her father can't offer? You're both two dudes, so what's your insight?
I don't know. I can...
It's okay. You're correct. I didn't actually go through it myself.
Yeah, why would you? You're a dude.
But...
felt like I did. That's the whole point.
Well, that's important. If you felt like you did, well, then you probably got real life experience then.
How do you feel like you went through your period?
Yeah. What did you do? Did you dab some ketchup in your panties or something, or what'd you do?
Did you eat some rotten food so that you had cramps?
Yeah.
I felt like I did.
I felt like I did. Okay. Well, that's real life experience right there.
Of course it is.
But don't you think that she'd be more comfortable discussing it with someone who looks like me rather than like you?
Oh, so it's identity politics now.
Of course it is.
It's how you look. Well, if you put on a wig and a dress, maybe she'll talk to you more openly there, President.
Yeah.
Because isn't that all it takes? Because you would
apparently.
Look... Yeah. Looks like me. Please.
Maybe you're right. Thank you.
Oh, that's the other thing. Look at the hypocrisy of that. It's just like, well, I realize I'm not really a woman.
Yeah.
I'm pretending to look like one.
Right.
So what they're trying to say is that transgenderism really isn't real then, is it?
Well,
isn't that what they're just saying?
That's your interpretation.
Nah, she said someone who looks like me.
That's your interpretation.
All right, I'm just saying.
I made a decision on the flight here that I not be employed as simply a prop.
Sasha, when I asked you to...
Tom, let me finish.
Yeah, Tom.
Now that things are as they are, there is no reason for me to continue to absent myself from this place, from a young girl who's lost her mother. So unless you object, after we do the photo op and wave from the balcony, I'd like to remain on for her and for Alex.
Thank you. Penny would love that.
Yeah. So as her uncle, I would like to stay on and pretend I'm her aunt.
Exactly.
Okay.
The president's like, Sasha, thank you.
Yeah, I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved that I have a transgender being an influence in my daughter's life.
That's right. It's good for her.
Yeah. Diversity and inclusion. It is our strength.
It is. It definitely is.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you,
for understanding that.
No, you got to say it right. Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you.
Thank you for your inclusion and diversity and your strength.
I very much respect it.
Right.
And you?
Of course.
You know, you never asked me any questions, like, about my transition. I mean, everyone has questions. You must have had some.
I wanted to respect your privacy.
So tell me, how do you feel personally about me?
Completely accepting.
Intellectually, sure. But what about viscerally? I mean, have you fully accepted it viscerally? Be truthful, please.
Honestly, I'd have to say that viscerally, I'm still a work in progress.
Aren't we all?
Who uses the term viscerally?
Viscerally?
Yeah.
I'm still a work in progress.
Yeah. Viscerally.
Viscerally.
Yeah. All right, we got one last clip.
Oh, now this is great.
Is this the icing on the cake?
This is the icing on the cake. It is the proper finale to this segment tonight.
All right.
So in this segment, the president makes an internet live address to the world.
Is this Facebook Live?
Of course, Facebook Live. And
is this Periscope?
YouTube, Periscope. It's on everything.
Right, of course.
Because what they do is they pan around all around the world as he's making this statement. And they're showing it in Times Square, and they're showing it everywhere. And of course, he addresses this the transgender thing and the positive message of transgender. This is his like campaign speech, I guess. And of course, every comment, they're showing the comments that would come up on a live chat or whatever.
Yeah.
Every comment is go diversity and yay transgender.
Yeah, sure.
And the president rules for having this openness in his cabinet.
Right.
But wait till you hear this fucking speech. It's fresh out of Rocky IV.
All right. All right, here we go.
On a personal note, there is something I would like you to reflect on. Recent days have seen egregious violations of personal privacy involving my sister-in-law and one of my opponents. These incidents are connected to what I believe to be a general erosion of the concept of personal privacy. Sometimes we as citizens are all too often complicit in the erasing of boundaries between our public and private lives via social media. And we may also find ourselves unwitting and often unwilling captors to algorithms that invasively track our every click. In consideration of this, I will ask Congress to authorize a new cabinet office, the Department of Digital Technology, to bring enlightened oversight to our now hyper-connected world.
Digital technology?
Yeah, the digital technology czar coming to a government near you.
All right, because, your acceptance is important, and no matter what your beliefs are, we're going to make you accept things that, you might not accept.
Sounds very much like censorship 101 to me.
Yeah.
Via the internet, it has become too easy to stir anger and fear where none is deserved. My sister-in-law is a perfect example of that. Sasha isn't a symbol for either the intolerant or the activist. She is a fellow American citizen endowed with the same inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as all of us. Now, I am not so naive as to believe that simply because we are all Americans, we will all agree on every issue.
Well, if this is going around the world, why is he saying we're all Americans?
Well, because he only cares about the American people.
I understand, but so why is this being broadcast around the world?
It's his campaign speech.
Oh, I see.
He's running for president.
I gotcha.
But if history teaches us anything, it is that our country's ability to be understanding and tolerant of each other has made us one of the great shining lights for democracy and the world. We arrive at tolerance and acceptance by varied paths. Some come by it as a matter of course, and some through time and experience. I've been blessed to have Sasha in my life. Someone who introduced me to a life journey completely foreign to my understanding. And I will admit before all of you, my tolerance and acceptance of her took time, and even now is more intellectual than instinctive. But I will continue to work every day to try and make myself whole. And I can only urge all Americans to look into their own hearts, where I believe they will find their own compassion and understanding. My name is Tom Kirkman, and I present myself as a candidate for the presidency of the United States, not as a partisan of the right or the left, but as one of you, the frustrated majority of Americans who just want sensible solutions to the issues of our time. In asking for your vote, I ask you to take this giant leap with me away from politics as usual and declare your independence. Thank you. Good night, and God bless you, and God bless these United States of America.
I'm voting for that guy.
Tom Kirkman for president.
Yeah, now light up the White House in the rainbow colors.
That's
like Obama.
right.
Oh, like Obama did.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, because, less than 3% of the population wags the dog.
Dude, you have to be inclusive, even to the very smallest minorities.
Okay.
You have to give them full consideration.
Yeah. Let them dictate the whole narrative.
You said dick.
I did. All right, what a great show I'll never watch.
So there's a lot more to that show.
I'm sure there is.
Would you like me to find some more for you?
Let's ask a consensus in the chat room. Should we have more of this? If the chat room says cool, I'm cool with it. If they say fuck that shit, it's no more.
Good, because I don't really want to dig through the shows. And I know they don't want to hear no more of this.
Right. All right, well, let's take a break. Let's play a couple of tunes. I think the only way to end this segment is some classic Aerosmith from Permanent Vacation. Dude looks like a lady. Exclusively here
on your classic metal show.